Commanding General Yohana will be doing the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles in King James Castle. Finally, the truth about King James, a black man who helped to preserve and safeguard the Bible. Live September 29th, 2023. Commanding General Yohana, live at King James Castle in Scotland. Come on down and support the ISUPK UK. Lift the glass, come and join the brotherhood and drink with the ancient as we celebrate and keep the Feast of Tabernacles for our King Yahushua in King James Castle, bringing his crew of heavy hitters. Commanding General Yohana will put 12 shield General Muhammad scripture breakdown class up against anyone, against any biblical scholar, untested, unchallenged, ISUPK undefeated. Leviticus chapter 23, the Feast of Tabernacles in a black man's castle, hosted in Scotland, the United Kingdom, UK. Commanding General Yohana will be doing the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles in King James Castle, Thursday, September 28th, Scripture Breakdown class. Friday, September 29th, there will be a King James Castle tour, also a Johnny Walker Distillery tour, and Friday night, the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles. Saturday, September 30th, we will have camp on the streets of England. Sunday, October 1st, the UK Cookout. Monday, October 2nd, the Warwickshire Castle Tour. ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana at King James Castle in England. This is an absolutely monumental, historical event.
That's the stop. But man, don't we deserve a shot? Don't we deserve a shot to be the Lord's people? Israel, let's do it!
Hey, I'm just following orders. Let me get one of those slow motion pictures, bro. One of the slow motion pictures.
You gotta shoot at 60 frames per second.
Come on, that.
They say they wanna hit that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. As if they make the wrong move and coach shit. You see me, they like, ooh, chemo shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hit that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to bullshit. They see me, they like, ooh, chemo shopping. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army, going up like a rocket, and can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage, so watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. Shorty like, damn, man, you cut up. There's nothing I can handle. 144 in the booth, going Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. That's why I play the corner like a bum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Ooh, chemo sabe, got this bitch off the hand, got the juice, got the drip, about to hit the bitch with the salt. It ain't rap, it's assault. Can't taste a bitch unless you with the coke. They say they wanna hit that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. As if they make the wrong move and coach shit. Hey. One West, one West, one West, one West, one West. Coming up on my divorce. It's all money, nah, honey, think you settling. See, you locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the streets. It's one West. You can check the residency. I reside with soldiers died on the soles of their feet. Cause it's death before designer, ain't no coward in me. Cause I'm cold as a bitch's shoulder, you ain't calling a week. Get the cooking on this beat, hope you like it well done. Got them killers rolling with me and they all red rum, red rum, red rum. Got you fuckers scared some, get the banging on this beat till my fucking head numb. Black Glock, red drum, black and yellow air ones. Homie, you ain't got a vest, I suggest you wear one.
Told these niggas we was going up. They was doing a lot of talking, now these niggas ain't saying shit.
Feeling like a legend in this shit, lil nigga, I'm past veteran. Never feeling third, lil nigga, I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like Ash Ketchum. Shotty break a nigga ribs up like his wife left him. We all steppin', kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5, but you doing life. These hands are rude GPS, a mean right. That's mean right, we build different, you know the vibes. And we stamped it authentic, we notarized. I keep a 144 because I know a cod. Noah's Ark, you know I'm with animals when we flowing by. We back again, no cap, when I'm with Cap again. Yeah, they say they want smoke until we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym. They say they wanna hit that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they boss shit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move, it cost shit. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hit that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to boss shit.
Yo, this beat actually really hard.
UBK shit, South Coast shit, man. Shout out Bar Dog, Tennessee, up the business. Hey, get the money, hey. That's what the fuck going on out there, motherfucker, man. Hey. Hey, get the money, nigga. Taste the paper, bitch. Keep all of your morals, never slave for shit. Ice up on my wrist. Yeah, I'm hood rich. I don't give a fuck about to get pop quick. Yeah, I'm on that shit. Yeah, I'm in the town. Niggas talking about that G, but now they come around. Can't even come around. Yeah, I'm up, nigga. Man, fuck all of these hoes, get the bucks, bitch. I'm a young rich nigga, I ain't tryna flex. You can tell I'm cold by the ice around my neck. Straight up VVS, I charge you, boy, you wanna test. I don't get no shot about a nigga or a bitch. Boy, I love the life I live, cause a nigga keep it real. Nigga freshly hell, take that drip, but get your spill. I ain't little flip, getting pimped up out of his. I'm a straight G though, getting paper like a miso. That's that South Coast stain if you tryna hang. You be catered by the bang, boy, we rep the same. Nigga tryna talk, but we rep that murder game. Get your ass pop, ain't nothing to a G. All up, bitches wanna fuck, but hell no, I don't pay no fee. Bitches leak 2G, got that ice, I make you sneeze. All these niggas lame as hell, can't even come around me. Bitches South Coast, South Carolina, bitch, I'm styling, yeah.
Hell, no demons get control of me. No money get the best of me. No bitches getting up over me. Don't want much, nigga, I'm sucker free. That's the way it gotta be. These niggas chain, these bitches chain, y'all chain is soak me. For real, this brotherhood of weapon. And bitch, we carry weapons. Like a rob on nigga, ass won't even need a weapon. And y'all be well protected. And y'all be well respected. And if you got a problem, then y'all better address it. You cross that line, we ain't show no mercy. Cross that line, you ain't gon' need surgery. You pull up and they getting up. You ain't making no move, you ain't got no purse. On UBK, so I ain't never worried. I'm putting them right, both of my hands dirty. For real, I learned from the OGs. I'm a young nigga, but I'm a certified priest. And I'm from Tennessee. In this mandatory that I gotta keep my heat. You should play it safe, and we gon' play with peace. For real.
All right. Shalom, Israel. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yashai Barakatah. To the Akim. Shalom, Yahweh Shema Alatah. Ba'ashem Yashai. To the Akwah. Once again, it's the ISUPK Wednesday Law Class. ISUPK Detroit. I'm the Commander General Yohana, of course. And I'm Officer of 1,000 Awadia. Right? First thing first, I want y'all to like and share the classes so we can get this truth out there and pushed throughout the earth to our people, which is one of the most important things. Give me 1 second here. I want to do a sound check to make sure we tawab with the sound. All right, we tawab with the sound. All right. So, which is the most important thing we could do in this earth. Everybody can do a part by helping wake people up, just simply by sharing the classes, liking and sharing the classes. Okay? So we can get this truth out here. Because nobody needs this truth more than our people. Especially today, at the times that we're living in. As the Most High is ramping up things and your oppressor is ramping up things, just understand that the more he sees the Most High bringing him down, the more he's going to try to do against the Lord's people. Okay? So getting this truth out, waking everybody up, waking brothers and sisters up, letting them know who they are according to the Bible, and letting them know that they are the chosen people of the Lord, and getting them out of their sinful life that they may be living, and into this truth and keeping the law, statutes, and commandments is what is needed in the earth today for our people. Turn this sound off. I'm tripping. Yeah, it's what's needed in the earth for our people, man. Okay? We all was there at once, and now, we changed our life around, so let's make sure we doing everything we can to help the next brother and help the next sister change and turn their lives around. Right? One more thing, as usual, give that shout out to Commander General Yohana for holding on to this truth. For holding on to this truth, man. And not dropping his sword. Giving brothers and sisters a chance to come into the truth, man. Not dropping his sword like so many others that we see out here today. With break-off groups, man, just teaching whatever they want to teach that makes them feel more comfortable. That makes them feel more comfortable instead of doing what is right, which is what? Coming into one body. If any of them was, that's how you know they're all fake Israelite groups and they're all basically Christians. Because if they was following the way the Lord wanted, the Lord said, we are one body. Christ died to do what? Bring Israel back together. He died for the sins and to bring Israel back together. So when you go and you break off and you go start your own fake Israelite group somewhere, you are disrespectful to Christ. Disrespectful to Christ, man. Christ died for us to come together not for us to be divided. Okay? With that being said, we're going to tackle a couple of things today. The first thing we're going to do, let's get right to it. Let's get Psalms 111 and 10, man. Psalms 111 and 10. This is the law class, right? We're going to be talking about the importance, as always. Really is like the foundation of, because it's all, keeping the law is such an important thing, man. Keeping the law is such, the importance of it. The importance of it, man, is just unfathomable. Because not keeping it is what? It's the reason why Detroit looked the way it looked. But here's the thing. You go to New York, and you go where black people at, it looks the same. Chicago, I mean, it's the reason why we're in the condition that we in as a people, Native Americans. Look at what the Hispanic tribes go through. Okay? They locking them in cages, and they, quote unquote, losing their kids and losing people and people dying and being wrecked. Look at the horrific thing that they going through at this time and period. Think about what the Native Americans is going through. Think about the horrific things that they're going through at this time and period. It's just locking them. Your oppressor gave them a land and then locked them, found out it was oil on the land and locked them in dog cages because they was going to build they want that oil. They did it because they want the oil. Okay. So just think about the things that our people suffer inside of this kingdom. And we suffer them because what? Because we don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments. That's how important it is. We suffer when we don't keep them, man. We suffer when we try to get out here and celebrate Halloween and what's after Halloween? Thanksgiving. And all this stuff around this time of the year, man. We suffer, man. And what else? Crime in our neighborhood go up. The crime in our neighborhood go up because we try to follow the way of the oppressor, and it's so individualized. While the Most High want what for us? He want us together in brotherhood. He want us together in brotherhood, man. And that's a huge difference. If we together in brotherhood, we would have no crime. But because we choose to follow the oppressor way, we envy the oppressor and choose his ways, crime rate go up, man. All right. Our crime rate goes up. All right. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Let's get it. Don't forget, once again, like, share the classes, man. Let's get these classes out. All right, let's get it. It says, the fear of the Lord. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Right? So we know that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. How do we understand that? Because once you fear the Lord, right? What you gonna do? That's gonna cause you a reaction to be obedient. Inside of this kingdom that we in right now, right? Inside of this kingdom, a lot of our people, we don't fear the Lord like we should. You understand what I'm saying? We don't fear him like we should. We don't think of him as someone who is not playing games with us. We look at him we look at him and we say, we look at the Lord and we think he's just somebody who just allow us to conduct ourselves in any manner that we want to. And we learn these things because we learn that God loves us no matter what. No matter what we do. He loves us, he loves us, he loves us. He's never going to punish us for anything that we do. These are things that we taught. These are things that we taught. We taught these things in Christianity. We taught these things in Islam, which is just another version of Christianity. We learned these things in Buddhism, which is just another version of Christianity. We learn these things in fake Israelite groups, which is also another version of Christianity. That's how we learn. But then when you really start to understand the Lord and you really pay attention and you really start learning about the Lord, when you actually get in class and you come in here and learn about the Lord, and you learn that the Lord, He's not playing. Like Hadariala went over yesterday and was showing the natural disasters. Show how many people died from COVID. Over 3 million people died. The Lord put over 3 million people to death. With the COVID. The Lord is not playing. Okay? The Lord is not playing at all. The Lord shut the entire earth down. Which show you that the Lord is more powerful than a tank. Your airplanes and your helicopters and all of these things, the Lord is more powerful than all of those things. Okay? He shut all of that down. And can shut it down again. The Lord has shut all that stuff down with mosquitoes. You're just sending swarms of mosquitoes to get all up in anything that they need and shut all of that down. The Lord controls everything and will shut anything down. And when you fear him, well, I say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. When you fear him, you'll start being obedient to what he said do. You'll read something to somebody, let's just say a Christian or something, about keeping the law or something like that, and they'll tell you that it's done away with. So they can do whatever it is that they want to do. Or you'll be reading them something out of this Bible and they'll tell you, you know what, that don't even matter nowadays. Even though it's coming out of the Bible, they'll tell you how much it does not matter. Or the color of Christ don't matter. And this and that don't matter. That's because they don't have the fear of the Lord. So they don't really care what's written inside the Bible. They really don't care what the Lord is saying. They really don't care about what the scriptures say. As long as they got whatever it is that they think about the Lord inside of their head. They don't think the Lord was behind COVID. They believe what was put on the news, somebody ate some bat soup or some nonsense like that. That's what they believe. They don't believe it was the Lord that came through and shut everything down. They believe somebody ate a bat or some whatever nonsense or garbage they was putting on the news. That's what they believe in, okay? They don't believe it was the Lord behind it. They believe what they seen on TV. They believe that was behind it. All right? It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. You see that? It said it's you got a good understanding if you do the things that the Lord said do. You don't come up with your own philosophy and philosophize, whatever the word is, Salakia. You don't do that. You don't do that. However you pronounce the word. I know what the word, just the pronunciation was coming off my tongue incorrectly. So you don't do that. You don't come up with your own philosophy. You don't make what the Lord said do fit into what you want to fit into it, into what you want it to fit. You have to fit into what the Lord wrote. It ain't the other way around. That's why that's such a heavy scripture when it say the Lord don't hear the prayers of sinners. They spend all day praying about this, that, and the third, a house, a car, some money, some job, some relationship. They wish their man to stop doing this, or he wish his woman to stop doing that. But the Lord don't hear none of their stupid prayers because they're sinners. That's why the scriptures say, well, we're going to read it again. It says, a good understanding have all they that do his commandments, that do them. You got a good understanding of things. You know the Lord don't hear the prayers of sinners. So guess what you're doing? You're not sinning. Why? Because you want the Lord to hear your prayers. You have a good understanding. People in the world and people stuck in Christianity, they do not. And again, that's why I can't stress enough. It's important that we get these classes out there. It's so important that we get these classes out there. Because so many of our people are suffering. And they don't even have to be out there suffering. All they have to do is be willing to do what? Turn their life around, man. And serve the Lord. Not come in here and serve me. Not come in here and serve somebody else. No. You come in here and you serve the Lord. That's what you do. You come in here and you be obedient to the Lord. You come in here and you learn how to follow Christ. You come in here and you no longer doing whatever it is, the disgusting things that you was doing in the world that you thought was the things to be doing. The way you lived your life, you thought that was the way people live their life. You thought it's the way people think. You think all that is the right thing to do. When it's not the right thing to do according to the scriptures, you'll come in here and you'll find Living the way the Most High said to live is the best way to ever live. It is the best way to ever live. Like, you might think you living in the world, and I'm telling you this from a personal experience. You might think you living in the world, but when you come in here, you start realizing it, and you start looking at the person that you was inside of the world, and you be like, man, I was foolish. Like, what in the hell was I? I'm thinking I'm smart. I'm dumb as all outdoors. I could have been in here living like this the whole time. Such a stress-free lifestyle in here, should I say. A good thing is all that doeth this commandment. That's why it's good to do to keep the law, statutes, and commandment, man. A good understanding. You understand things differently, man. You able to identify, understand what? Why we go through the things. Why is it so different? Like everybody knows it's a difference, right? Everybody knows it's a difference. Everybody know, like, us and the oppressor, our lives are different. They don't suffer the same way we suffer. They don't go through the same way things that we go through. They live deliciously doing the things that they do. And when we follow behind and try those same things, we suffer as a people for it. Okay? We don't live the American dream in here. We don't live the American dream inside of this country. It's not peace and prosperity for us as a people inside of this country. Liberty and justice for all, we don't get that inside of this country. Okay? We don't get that. We get one thing as a people in this country. That's oppression. That's what we get. We get shot. We get murdered we get murdered on camera. On camera. Clear murder. Clear as all outdoors murder. And get no justice for it. No justice whatsoever. Because we tried to do what? We tried to follow the way of this kingdom. But a good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endure forever. You got to understand it because you understand your oppressor is not your friend. You understand that because of what? Because of the scriptures. You understand that that's not your friend and y'all ain't buddy. Right? You understand that. Nobody has to tell you that. All right? Nobody has to explain that to you. You know that based on the scripture. You know that based on the Bible. You don't need, and let's just say, for whatever reason, you didn't understand that. Let me tell you something. Before I even came into the truth, I understood that the oppressor wasn't right. That we really wasn't supposed to be joined together with him. Like it was just something about it that I knew really wasn't right, but I just couldn't quite put my finger on it. I didn't understand it really. So I looked at them differently, but I didn't really understand that we completely was totally supposed to be separated from these people for a good cause. All right. From here, let's get Deuteronomy. Go to Deuteronomy, the 6th chapter. Deuteronomy, the 6th chapter. Yeah, I didn't understand how much different we was and how much we supposed to be away, not just from them, from all the other nations, man. I always knew we were better than every other nation. That's just obvious. If you pay any attention to anything, you will see that they use us to promote and push everything. Every nation wants to be like us. Every nation wants to be us. All right. What we're going to find tonight is a reoccurring theme of following the law, statutes, and commandments, man. It's going to be a reoccurring thing. All right. And of course, like, share this classes. And if y'all have any questions, which I'm about to check right this second, put them in the comments. And I will get to them. Yeah, I will get to them. So I'm about to check right now and see if we have any comments whatsoever. And if we do, I will answer them. But for right now, everybody, let's get to Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 24. We're going to rock that like that. And verse 24. All right. I'm going to have to multitask a little bit here. So, Deuteronomy 6 and 24, and it reads, And the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes. And that's the thing. The Lord ain't asking us, is this something that we want to do? That's not what's going on here. The Lord is not asking us. He's not checking in with us saying, the Lord is commanding us to do these things. When the Lord say do something, He's not asking you, is that something you want to do? When the Lord say do something, it means do it. For instance, if the Lord, let's just say the word the Lord commanded wasn't there. And he just said, okay, I want everybody to walk up this hill and turn left. That is a commandment. You better start walking and turn left. You better start walking and turn left. Because he ain't asking you about how you feel. And guess what? He don't give a damn about how you feel. He don't give one damn about how you feel. The Lord say jump, we say how high. It's that simple. The thing is, too many people get smart and start thinking They smarter than God, and they got it. They smarter than the Most High, and they have it all figured out. And they understand it, and they got it all everything worked out and mapped out, man. And they can do as they command, not as the Lord command. They don't give one care about what the Lord said do. Okay. Yeah, they don't give one care about what the Lord said do at all. All they care about is what they want to do. It says, and the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Lord our God, for our good always. And it's for our good. It's for our good. How do we know it's for our good? Because if we kept the law, statutes, and commandments always, and if we did that, like it said do right here, we would have never suffered those curses that's in Deuteronomy. We'd have never been on slave ships. We'd have never got took down by an enemy swifter than a damn eagle. Our kids and our children would have never been stripped away from us. We would have never been kicked out of the land. We decided to come down low to be with the heathen versus being over the heathen like the Lord set us up to be. Being separate and being away from them because the Lord set us on high over them. Instead, we decided to sit down in the dust with them, so to speak. We decided to step from high and step down there with the heathen. And when we done that, they was able to get over on top of us. Because what? We left the wisdom that the Lord gave us and thought that their philosophies and their way of life and the way they went about things was better. We thought it was better. Salaki, give me 1 second, y'all. Yeah, we thought their way of life was better than ours. So what do? We went and joined them. Okay? Said, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is at this day. Okay? Verse 25. And it reads, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God as he has commanded us. And it shall be our righteousness. This is the thing. These are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments is the thing that make us righteous in the sight of the Lord. This is the thing that makes us good inside. Like you're a father, you're a mother, you're a parent. You have rules for your children to follow. If your children break those rules, then you disappointed in your children, And a lot of times comes punishments with those rules that they broke. Okay? Well, that's the same thing the Lord done with us, man. He didn't do anything different. He's just a good father. The way you a good parent. All right? The same exact way. No different. All right? From here, let's get Deuteronomy 10. Deuteronomy the 10th chapter. Deuteronomy the 10th chapter. Deuteronomy the 10th chapter, man. We're gonna get through this thing today. We got some time. We'll get through it. We're gonna get through it. All right. Deuteronomy 10 and 12, and it reads, "And now, Israel, what do the Lord thy God require of thee?" Well, it's asking, it says, what does the Lord require of thee? Obedience. The Lord requires obedience. And when you don't be obedient, of course, there's a punishment for it. Which is why we as a people do what? We suffer in the ghettos. Because why? Because we can't, people won't quit smoking weed. We're addicted to weed. Our people, we won't stop sleeping with one another and throwing each other away after it. We used to say brothers do it, but Salaki, the women do it. The women do it a lot now too. They have sex with a brother and be done with that brother. That's how destroyed we are. We ain't, women or men, women is no longer thinking about being a wife, having a husband, and having a family. Those things are far gone from our people mind in the world. They don't even consider those things anymore. Black, Hispanic, and Native woman, you've been tricked out of your position. You've been tricked out of your position. You've been tricked out of the greatest position a woman can have, to be a wife and to be a mother. You have been taught and so destroyed, you think that's a negative. You treat those things as if they're the plague. You want to stay far away from those. The people that teach you those things are wrong, man. The Lord wants you to have a husband. He wants you to have that protection over you, man. That's what the Lord wants for you. What the Lord wants for you, man. And that's what you should want for yourself, man. Because they don't tell you living that lifestyle when you get about 35, 40, somewhere around up in those ages in between there. They don't teach you about how lonely you're going to be. They don't teach you about that. They don't teach you you're going to have 2 or 3, you're going to have multiple baby daddies up in there. They don't teach you about that stuff. They don't explain that part of it to you. They just tell you what sounds good to you. All right? Getting high and smoking cigarettes. You getting high and smoking cigarettes and knowing that them smoking that weed smoking them weed and them cigarettes gonna give you cancer, heart problems, high blood, like it's gonna do so much damage to you. Emphysema, lung cancer. But for some reason, we don't believe we can have a good time without it. We need those things to be able to enjoy life. Well, let me explain it to you. That is an oppressed people. You're oppressed. Anytime you could read the packet, it say it's gonna give you cancer, and you still smoking. Yeah, you are oppressed. You're very much oppressed. Going in the strip club, thinking it's having all the fun you want, until you got the new version of the syphilis. The new version of it, about to take your life. You got the new version, till you got monkeypox, HIV. All that is right in there, waiting on you, and you about to pay whatever it is you pay to take her to the quiet room. Ain't that what they said on that movie, Rush Hour? Like, take her to the quiet room. You gonna take her to the quiet room, huh? Okay. In that quiet room, he right, it ain't gonna be quiet no more. Cause you gonna yell as soon as you go try to use the restroom. You gonna scream very loudly. Cause it's gonna be a burning sensation. Because you chose not to follow the Lord, man. You followed your own way of life. And what do the Lord thy God require of thee? But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy soul. To walk in all of his ways. All of his ways. Not some of them. Not just some of them. Not just the ones you want to. Not just the ones that you like. From there, we're going to Psalm 78, Psalm 78. Not just the ones you like. Not the ones you feel comfortable with. Not the ones you think is okay. Said all of them. Every last one of them. That's how you can tell the difference between us and Christians. Because Christians do what? They only want to follow the ones that suit them. Or they want to put their own little spin on it to make it right to them. They don't want to do everything the way the Lord said do unless it's convenient for them. If they feel like it inconvenienced them, they'll switch it around to something else. Yeah, see, you can still eat pork if you just pray over it. All you got to do is pray over it. Yeah, you just pray over it. And God gonna bless it, cause see, he put the what is that he did? when he made the pigs run off the edge. I don't know how the hell that made it clean, but you would hear some wild stuff, man. He cast the demon into the pigs, took the demon off the man and put it into the pigs. You would hear some wild stuff. Or what's the other one they used in Acts? The Peter dream, to try to make it seem like you can eat some pork off of the dream that Peter had. They'll do anything to eat pork. So, sorry, eating pork is a sin. It just is. It's unlawful. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. Eating pork is a sin. Eating shrimp, crab, lobster, sin. Breaking any of the commandments is a sin. Your oppressor and the other nations, let them eat all the pork that they want to eat. Let them eat all the pork they want to eat. They want to eat shrimp, crab, and lobster. Let them. You black, Hispanic, and Native American man, you shouldn't be eating that stuff. Why? Because that's what the Lord said for you not to do. And the Lord made a covenant with us. He did not make a covenant with those other nations. He didn't do that, man. We have that covenant with the Lord. We have that responsibility. Okay? Psalm 78 and verse 5. It says, "For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children." Verse 6, it says that the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children. Meaning, this law that the Lord gave us, while dumb, stupid Christians talk about the laws done away with, or dumb, stupid people in the world who learn from Christians, they try to tell you that the law is done away with. Well, right here, guess what we're reading? This thing is supposed to be passed down from generation to generation. It said passed down to your children, who when they have children, passed down to them when they have children, and so forth and so on. This is so forth and so on thing, man. This is not something that's ending. It's not something that's ending, but guess what? We would know these things had we not done what? Had we not chose to give. This is what happened when you give your wisdom away to the oppressor. How do we give our wisdom away to the oppressor? Because we stepped down to them to start following their ways. We was on high, above, and separate from every nation, and we decided to go down and started following the other nations. Pork ribs smell good to a lot of us today. Pork ribs smell good to a lot of us then, and we decided to get us a little taste. You know, them extra good, them extra. We in our kingdom at this time. So the spices is extra good inside of your own kingdom. It is extra good, and we couldn't help. We couldn't pass up the pork roast, pork steaks. We couldn't pass those things up. We still wanted to smoke weed. And things of that nature. We enjoy getting high. Things of that nature, man. We enjoyed those things. Why? Because we saw the heathens doing these things, and we wanted to party with them. So like they was having a great time worshiping Jupiter and Bacchus and Mars and the planets and astrology. Some kind of way we got amazed by that nonsense. Even though inside the book that gave us the wisdom that the Lord gave us, the Lord said, what? Don't be amazed by that junk that they doing. He said that junk is of nothing. He said the heathen, they influenced by that and they amazed by those things. Here, I gave you everything. You have the answers from the beginning to the end. Right here. And we got mesmerized because they said they seen something on Orion's belt. We got mesmerized by Orion's belt and thought the heathen knew something, and thought the heathen was smart. And the Big and Little Dipper and the shooting stars and all that old garbage. Started worshiping the sun and Thor and all that garbage. When the Lord said He gave us our law, statutes, and commandments, we never needed any of those things. We never needed any of those things. We had a power that led us out of the land of Egypt. Egypt was what? Egypt was a mighty army, man. Egypt was the most powerfulest nation on the planet. And the Lord destroyed Egypt in the sight of all the nations on the planet. In the sight of every nation on the planet, the Lord destroyed Egypt and walked us up out of there. And we didn't lift a finger. And we didn't lift a finger. And that's why, and that's the importance of passing these things down to our generations. To our children. That's the importance, man. We have to regrow. We have to rebuild this nation. And it's getting done, man. My prayer is that all of Israel turn back, because the Lord have an appointed time when He coming. And you don't want to wait. And you don't want to wait until that time to feel like, to say, oh, now is you don't want to find out, Salakia. You don't want to find out in that time that God knowing your heart ain't good enough. That your heart been deceiving you. You don't want to find that out in that time, man. Again, that's why we cannot stress enough, man, the importance of getting in class and learning. Not getting in class with some fake Israelite group, but getting in here and learning the truth, man. Getting with real brothers and learning what real brotherhood is about, man. You don't want to go from being tricked inside of Christianity to going to some fake Israelite group and getting tricked more. You can't get fooled by Israelite groups marching, and we've been marching since the 1900s, and it's never gotten us anywhere. So what makes you think marching gonna get us somewhere now? If it ain't been work, what makes you think it's gonna work now? They marching because they know people just like to see that kind of stuff. It make you feel like you're doing something. But they know it ain't accomplishing nothing because when has it ever? When has it ever? It never has. Okay? So the Lord only, again, it says, for he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children, that the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born. So we just pass it. The laws is always meant to be passed down. They ain't never been done away with. You don't have to do them no more. All that stuff is ridiculousness, man. All that stuff is ridiculous and stupid. Clearly, they don't know the scriptures. All right, from here, let's get Proverbs, the 21st chapter. Proverbs, the 21st chapter, man. Yeah, they ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous to think and foolishness. And what's even more crazy about that is they'll sit right there and read what Christ said, think not that I come to destroy the law, and then get to Romans and say the law is done away with. And get to Romans and say the law is done away with. That is insane. That is insane. And that's how you know, it's all about them and them worshiping theyself and loving theyself, man. And them following their own philosophy. Because that philosophy allows them to do whatever they want to do. And they love doing the things that they want to do. And that allows them to do it. Okay? Proverbs 21 and 21. Proverbs 21 and 21. And it reads, he that follow after righteousness and mercy findeth life, righteousness, and honor. And honor, man. You ever heard that scripture say, seek and ye shall find? Seek and ye shall find. Well, it said you follow after righteousness and mercy, and you're gonna find life and righteousness and honor. You're going to find that right. And guess what you're going to do? The first thing it says you're going to find is life. That's the very first thing it say you're going to find life. Because what happens when you don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments? You die. You die. You running around thinking it's fun just having sex with anybody. You die from HIV. Keep it up. Keep it up. HIV didn't get you. The coronavirus sure as hell did. It cleaned a lot of people up. It cleaned a lot of people up. Keep smoking them cigarettes and that weed. You just gonna keep smoking. You ever heard somebody say, I'm just gonna keep smoking till my lungs collapse? Don't worry about it. They will. They're going to. The Lord is going to make sure of it. You're going to be the example for a brother like myself to not smoke weed anymore. To make sure I have a reminder of what happens to people who smoke marijuana. The Lord going to use you as a reminder to me. Because when I see you shrivel up and die in hospice, I'm going to say, man, oh man, I'm glad I stopped doing that, and I'm never going to do that again. Even though, me personally, I don't need it. But when I see stuff like that or things like that, I'll always kind of look at it and say, okay, let me even though I wasn't going in that way, let that be a warning to me to never go back that way again. And that's what the Lord gonna do. Use you to warn me and warn another brother and change another brother's life. Hopefully that brother who was with you doing those same things and say, you know what? Let me stop before that be me. Let me get in class. Let me change things around. So I don't end up like that. All right. From here, let's get Proverbs the 28th chapter. Give me 1 second. Let me just double check something right quick. Oh yeah, Proverbs the 28th chapter. Yeah, get Proverbs the 28th chapter. Perfect. I'm just trying to double check right quick. Make sure we don't got no questions online. Feel it. Okay. We too wild. Let's get it. So Proverbs 28. And let's jump down to the 4th chapter right quick. Slakia, 4th verse. It says, Proverbs 28:4. It reads, they that forsake the law praise the wicked. And we know that's right. And we know that's right. And we see that in the earth today, easily. We think because a person may have a little bit of money, a little bit of stature in the earth. Those are the things that mean something to that. Those are the things that people value. Those are the things that people value. We never even consider following the Lord when we think about what the good things is inside of the earth. And of course, I'm talking to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Of course, we don't really, whatever the other nations want to do, they free to do it. They that forsake the law praise the wicked, man. And that's what we do, man. Think about the cult following somebody like a Beyonce or a Carly B might have. Or what's the other, Meg the Stallion. And think about what certain females is doing today, like as far as the rap industry and what the things that they saying. The one lady, I can't think of her name, and she talk about the STDs she done had, and she don't give a dang on, or STIs, whatever they call it nowadays, and she don't care. And the chick with the red hair, I don't know the girl name. I don't even think I want to know her name. I don't even think I want to know her name. But think about what she's pushing out, what they're pushing out there promoting. And then you let the younger adult women, they listening to that, but here's the kicker. The kids that they raising, they're listening to that. And they seeing their parent, their mama, their mother, dancing all around the house. So guess what? That's the example that she's setting for her daughter. But she's not looking and thinking about it in that manner. To her, she's just having a good time, and Carly B is the S word and things of that nature. The same thing with on the flip side, for the men. We walking around talking about on folks in them and acting all crazy and murdering brothers over absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. We killing each other for how we look at each other. Meanwhile, the oppressor, and again, I don't want to see nobody harming anybody because it's not necessary. Because the scriptures say our weapons of war are not carnal. And you know it's not. Once you understand who, this is the importance of knowing who you are. Because you know it's not carnal, because you know what the Lord did in Egypt. So we know we ain't got to, we know that we don't have to physically fight in any way, shape, form, or faction. You see how the Lord shut the whole planet down with the COVID virus. So we know that's the importance of knowing who you are. So you know you don't have to physically fight anything. But what I'm saying is this is the type of hatred that we've allowed to be pushed amongst ourselves. This is the value. We don't have any value for one another. We think each other are our enemy. Whole time, we got an oppressor oppressing the hell out of us. He murdering us for nothing and getting away with it. And getting away with it. And we doing what? Meanwhile, we murdering each other for how we look at each other. And it's all because of what? It's all because we don't keep the laws, statute, and commandment. all because we don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay? It says, they that forsake the law praise the wicked. And again, that's what we do, man. We praise the wicked, man. Remember, it was the lean, I call it the lean epidemic, man. Everybody was sipping that lean, man. But that lean was shutting brothers' organs down. That lean was messing brothers up, man. It says, but such as keepeth the law contend with them. And that's what we do here in the UPK, man. We contend with them. We go out there on them street corners and we battle them. We battle them. We battle them all day and all night on them street corners. We battle them on the internet. We battle them on Facebook. We battle them on Instagram or wherever else we battle them at. We battle them all the time. YouTube, we battling them. Captain Cesariak battling them all over the earth. We contend with them. Doing what? What is all this? What is all this for? Trying to wake our people up. And our people don't even understand that what we actually doing is love. We battle you, so we battling so y'all don't get tricked by people like polite. That's why we battling. That's why we fighting for y'all. Because we don't want to see those things happen to you. That's why we doing it. We don't want to see your destruction. Okay? Verse 5. Evil men understand not judgment. An evil man, he don't understand the judgments of the Lord. He doesn't care. He don't even consider the judgment of the Lord. He doesn't care. He has to get his. At all costs, it doesn't matter who he steps on, who he steps over, who he hurts, who he harms. It doesn't matter. They don't care, man. They do not care. They care about one thing: how much money they getting. That's why a drug dealer will sell drugs to his brothers, because he doesn't care. All he care about is the money that's going in his pocket. You ever seen, like, I grew up in a crack epidemic. So I've seen brothers sell their mama crack. I've seen it. I've seen brothers sell their mother crack. And I'm sure everybody who grew up understand. We've all seen the same thing. But see, an evil man, he doesn't understand the judgment, man, that he gonna receive for selling his mama crack. He don't care. He can't see past the money. Can't see past it, man. He doesn't care. He has to have the money. It says, but they that seek the Lord understand all things. But of course, when you seeking the Lord, because the Lord does what? The Lord reveals things to you. So, and that's why a lot of times when we breaking down scriptures and we battling people, they can't just quite wrap their mind around it because they so caught up in whatever it is that they caught up in that they not trying to even hear really what the Lord is saying. But somebody who a brother or sister that don't care about none of that stuff, all they care about is what the Lord got to say, they gonna hear. Because we don't give a damn about what's going on outside in the world. We can care less about that stuff, honestly. We understand that sooner or later, the Lord going to bring it all to nothing. The Lord is going to bring it all to nothing. So you might let's say you just a person that like Gucci. Right? You want to wear Gucci, you looking good. Gucci means absolutely nothing. How do you know? Because in about 20 minutes, it's going to be no such thing as Gucci. Because the Lord is going to destroy the entire kingdom that support Gucci. And there's going to be a whole new kingdom that don't support Gucci, that don't support Louis, that don't support Jordan. You're going to see none of this stuff ever again. It's all going to be gone. And the popular thing is going to be fringes. Fringes everywhere. You're going to see fringes everywhere is going to be fringes. Fringes and shields everywhere. That's all you're going to see is fringes and shields. That's the kingdom that's coming. That is the kingdom that is coming. Verse 6. Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. It's better to what he's saying is it's better to have nothing, be poor, and live righteously, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Because this thing right here, this kingdom, this is a temporary thing. The Lord kingdom. The Lord kingdom. That New Jerusalem that come with Christ, man, that thing is forever. That's a never-ending thing. That means that your oppressor will be under you forever. When he get brought down, like I said in the scripture, everybody gonna look at him and say, "Is this the man that the earth feared? Like, what in the hell? Why was we fearful of him?" And there's gonna be no more Gucci and no more Louis. All that stuff is gonna be gone. And you're gonna say, "What the hell was I thinking?" It is gonna be fringes and shields. Fringes and shields. That's all you're going to see everywhere. All over Israelites. As we finally get rest from our labor. Rest from our oppression that we suffered over here inside of this kingdom for over 400 years. Because the Lord is a just Lord. And although, like the scripture say, although you may forget, although you may forget, we may forget, and we may be quick to forgive the oppressor. Oppressor murder us. Some are the people that stand around. They forgive the murderer before the body, before they even get to identify the body. They be done already forgave the oppressor. And they always got a Bible verse, but for you, they hate the sight of you with your saggy pants. That's how bad we've been oppressed inside of this kingdom, man. That's what Christianity does to us. Because when we think about Christ, we identify Christ with our oppressor. And that's why we always are so forgiving to them, man. If we identified Christ with ourselves, we wouldn't forgive like that. We would be screaming from the top of our lungs for justice. We would be screaming at the top of our lungs for justice. We would never allow such a thing to happen. All right? Blessed is the poor that walketh in uprightness, than he that is perverse in his ways, and though he be rich. So it don't matter. In other words, your money is not, your money does not buy you a seat in the kingdom of heaven. And so many people don't understand that. You don't understand that because your philosophy is get rich and die trying, or die trying. Some of y'all say, sure, either I'm going to get this money or I'm going to die in jail. Which lets you know what? That means literally you doing everything illegal to get your money. You doing the very things that's going to land you in jail forever to get your money. You don't care nothing about that. You don't care about it. If you get 45 years, you don't care. I mean, yeah, you don't care why you on the outside. You gonna damn sure care why you on the inside. But you don't care why you on the outside. But more importantly, than anything else, guess what? The Lord is going to destroy you. You're going to get 45 years in prison because the Lord is judging you. You think that's judgment from your oppressor, when actually that's judgment from the Lord. The Lord gave you into the hand of the oppressor. Like we read in yesterday's class when the Lord asked David, he said, you can get these 3 judgments. David said, don't turn me over into the hands of man, Lord. You judge me. But the Lord turned you over into the hands of man. And you got 40 to 50 years in prison. You will die in jail. All right? Verse 7. Whoso keep the law is a wise son. Whoso keepeth the law is a wise son, which is what we read earlier. What do we read? What was the first thing that we read in Psalms? The fear of the Lord is the what? Beginning of understanding. The beginning of wisdom, Salakia. That's the beginning of wisdom. It is wise to keep the law because what does it do? Life. Like we read earlier. It is a key to life because what does it do? It teaches you how to eat properly. So you don't suffer from high blood pressure and diabetes and heart disease and things of that nature. They'll teach you how to eat food correctly, teach you how to cleanse yourself, how to keep yourself clean, how to quarantine properly. We have all of these laws. We have all of these laws and things in the books, man. How to deal with your wives, how to raise your kids. You may think you know some of this stuff, man, but you're not smarter than the Lord, who created everything, who in control of who he created. Not only did he create everything, he in control of everything. So he ain't just create everything and then just leave you and I down here by ourselves. He's still in control of what everything that happens. How do we know that for a fact? Like some people like to say, oh, that's just a book. Let me explain. Let me teach you right now how it's just not a book. The Lord said if we would disobey him, we was going on them slave ships. And as sure as my name is what it is, we disobeyed and we went on them slave ships. The Bible is just not a book. The Bible is something that you might not want to play around with, man. The Lord ain't somebody who just coming to hug. He's not sending Christ here to hug everybody, shake hands. And so it could be a rainbow coalition. All that stuff is TV. That's not real. TV is not real, in case y'all didn't know. It's a bunch of actors. It's not the real thing and the way things is going. Christ is coming back here to free the children of Israel from their oppression, man. And it's nothing nobody can do about it. No one can stop it. No one can do anything about it. The only thing I say to you is, when Christ comes, what side of the fence are you going to be on? Because it ain't no such thing as being in the middle. You either on the side with the lambs or you're on the side with the goats. Those are your only two choices. If I was you, I'd make my choice now, and I will make my election sure. And with that, shalom, Israel.